What is up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great Sunday and a great rest of the weekend. It's been a huge card show weekend for me here, and decided to do. This is gonna be there's a marathon of live streams that are happening tonight, so there's a lot to be excited about there. Just want to make sure the audio is coming through, which I think it is. Let me check with the chat here. Looks like Keegan got here first. Jacob is here. Stephen with a PH. Diamond Gems. Phil Necrofan. Peacemaker. Jake from Wax Pack Wisdom. We got, Vintage Goats. Keegan again. Warren. So thank you guys so much for coming here. So there's going to be a huge marathon of live streams tonight. And I figured let's kick this off and then we have a whole marathon. Dan, Vintage Baseball PC, is going to be doing his live stream at 7 o'clock. And then I imagine that, I haven't heard from Alex, but I imagine he's going to be doing his on Bowman53. And then leading into 9 o'clock, we'll be going into 4 Collectors territory, which will be Theo, where he's going to be hosting tonight, doing a collector to dealer conversation with Howard Chasser. So hope everybody's having a great rest of your weekend. For me personally, it was Card Shows RS. There was a card show at the Hudson Valley Renegade Stadium that I went to on yesterday, and it was quite a surprise. There was a dealer that I haven't seen in quite a long time, and he's the guy, Brian Fish. I've mentioned him numerous times, but he is he's the guy that has all the Venezuelans, or a lot of the Venezuelans in the tri-state area. And I imagine he probably has a lot of them compared to a lot of these other big-time dealers. But Brian I bought a couple of items. I've purchased a number of things off of him in the past, and I highly recommend you guys to check him out. I've shared his information before. We're going to talk a little bit about smaller card shows, bigger card shows, and sometimes certain dealers that are more regional versus national. And there's definitely opportunities there for, collectors within the community to hear more about other dealers that we don't normally hear on a day-to-day basis. So that's going to be on the agenda. We're going to talk a little bit about our hobby president tonight, our new hobby president, Mr. Mangini. So he's going to be brought up. Our Jake is here, actually, so I'll kind of mention him as well. Jake is doing a subscriber giveaway, which I'll share that as well. And I'm gonna spoil you guys and show some of the pickups now and not wait till Wednesday. Although I'm going to show them again on Wednesday as well, so there's definitely a lot to come. But yeah, man, let's jump right into it. Let's talk a little bit about our hobby president. And that we know is Mr. Mangini, and won by a significant margin, it seems. Now, the slogan, "When the Hobby Matters," early on in the campaign, John and I were talking, and I've never kind of acted in a sort of campaign manager sort of way, and I don't know if I would constitute myself in this one, but I was trying to come up with slogans for him, and I was trying to come up with a slogan that works. So I thought, "When the hobby matters, vote Mangini." And we really came through, guys. I got to tell you, we really came through. We voted a lot, and it was a nice surprise to find that he did become the hobby president and joined Sports Card Radio for the announcement of who was winning. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, Mangini's our new hobby president. I don't know what he has in store for everybody, but he now runs the executive branch of the hobby. So there you have it. So pretty cool. Now the other thing I wanted to share, I think, Jake is here. He did mention he was in the chat, and I did want to bring up. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Our buddy Jake from Wax Pack Wisdom is doing his 500 subscriber giveaway, and released a video today announcing as such that the giveaway is happening. It's awesome that he's reached 500 subs in this amount of time, and it's a great milestone. It is a fantastic milestone to reach in the hobby. Yeah. That is you, sir. So I would highly recommend checking out this video and also checking out Jake's channel as well. He's been on. He's been on. I think he's been on. I don't know if he's been on For Collectors. He's definitely been on the Cardboard and Cold Ones with Jason and I. And he's definitely making the rounds and really kind of building his channel up, which is great. So that's awesome. So subscribe to him if you get a chance. So let's talk a little bit about card shows. Let me hold on a sec. So, it's kind of funny. I'm fortunate enough to live in the Northeast, which grants me a lot of opportunities to go to big shows and small shows. So, and I never really stop to think, because all of us at one point or another experience both our local shows, if we have them, and our big time regional shows, and then you have things like the national. So I wonder what the feeling is like in terms of going to a show and trying to, I don't know, if you're going in this with the same agenda as you would a big show versus a small show, how does that translate for you? I like, for example, I went to the Hudson Valley show, as you guys know. Let me share that as well. And I'm going to mute this so we can just kind of play it. But this is the kind of vibe. It was a 2-aisle show, and I would say primarily modern in this case, but there was a good discovery of some good vintage here. As you go down the aisle, my buddy Aaron with the plaid shirt on the left had a nice array of vintage. And I was surprised to see Brian Fish there. And I think everybody here in our community should know about Brian Fish if they don't know about him already. Now, Brian Fish is this table you're about to see right now. That's him in the black shirt. And a lot of the classic stuff that you see, let me make this a lot bigger. That's much better. So a lot of the traditional stuff that you'll see. I mean, you have obviously like Babe Ruth is you see that the Babe Ruth card and all the Mantles and Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, like a nice array, a nice stack of really great vintage. Hold on one sec. Had a little something popped up on my screen. All right, going back. So here's what I'm talking about. This is Brian Fish's bread and butter. The Venezuelans. The Venezuelans are, I don't know what it is. I think there's just an appreciation for them, and I don't know if it's because of the fact that they have a lower pop report compared to some of the the other Topps Bowman cards that exist, or if there's just something mystical about looking at them, especially the Retirados. I don't know, the Retirados. Just obviously, this was not a set that was featured in the Topps run. This is exclusively a Venezuelan release. So, just wondering what you guys think about that. Let me stop here for a minute and let me get your take on that. So, what is it about the Venezuelans that appeals to collectors? What do you guys think? Is it the fact that they're tougher to find, or is there more to it? Is there something that resonates about the Venezuelan cards? For me, I mean, the Retirado that I have of Christy Mathewson here, the aesthetic and the design of the Retirados, just that's kind of what appeals to me about it. The pop report of those cards is secondary to me compared to the way the card is designed and laid out. And it's just, I think Tony puts it best. They are rare and different. So and this is kind of something that I think Jason would really, from Everyday Card Collector, Jason is in the business of card stocks, papers, and, understands that sort of, he understands that business very well. And so it just kind of makes it, as Tony mentions again, it makes him sexy. Absolutely. So, and let's see, Warren says they were so condition sensitive, but baseball is so global beyond our borders, but so great and rare. Absolutely. And Orlando mentions great images on the Venezuelan cards. Absolutely. Without a doubt. But I mean, again, you see, let me go back. Okay. Let's see. I want to try to get to a particular spot on the video. Okay, here's a good spot. I'm going to share the screen again. So we have like the Marichal, the Pete Rose. I mean, these are, cards that we see in the Topps run. They're the same photo. Is it just the way that they're printed kind of is more appealing? It's kind of a little more unique. That's, yeah, I can kind of gravitate that way. So it's kind of amazing they have survived. Yeah, this is a trial run. The Offspring smash it up. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope it doesn't get pulled, but we're trying it here, and if everything pans out well, I will add it to the cardboard and cold ones because I keep getting hit for using Rush. Doesn't really work out very well. So, see, Topps has a very interesting expansion history in other countries, beginning in 1957 with Venezuela, Mexico, Ireland, and Great Britain. What is so? You say Mexico, Ireland, and Great Britain. Where do they? How have they dipped their toes in those countries? Love for you to kind of, if you don't mind sharing a little bit more about that, that'd be awesome. So, yeah, as I was kind of going with this, let me go back to the show here. As I was mentioning, Brian Fish's table, highly recommend. If there's something you want to add, if you want to add a Venezuelan card to your set, he is the guy to do it, to buy from. He's very fair with his prices and very knowledgeable in this area. And so, yeah, he has a lot of the star players as well. So, and practically the entire set of the Retorado. They're pretty remarkable. But as I mentioned, excuse me, this show, it was a 2-aisle show. I kind of went in not thinking that I was going to pick anything up. I just kind of wanted to go for the experience, to kind of share the video that I typically do. I just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to see what shows are out there in the New York region. And this one really kind of translated very well for vintage collectors. It's a really nice stadium too, Hudson Valley Renegade Stadium. The space was really nice, and I actually thought it was going to be outdoors at first, but I'm glad it was inside. It's my buddy Mike Bokar. He runs the Fishkill shows, and I think he organized this one as well, the Hudson Valley Renegade show. And he's doing that consignment right now for his buddy Sunshine, who I purchased my T205 Mathewson off of. And yeah, a lot of really good stuff, really good condition stuff, really good centering. So if centering, registration, all that matters to you, this Mike has some good stuff for that. Yeah, nice variety too. Kind of well balanced between pre-war and kind of like 50s and 60s stuff. Yeah, Hank Aaron 2.5. Overall, some good quality stuff there. So this show is actually pretty nicely. I mean, I mentioned it was mostly modern, but there was a fair amount of vintage to pick from. The Mathewson has been on my radar. That one that he has there in a 3. Can't really tell because of the glare, but Kevin Geary, Old Buzzard classic. Yeah, absolutely. I love that guy's cool. He sets up at the Fishkill show all the time. This is Aaron's table. So for a small show, it's can't complain. Some good stuff there. Anyway, yeah. So for small shows, I think it all depends on what you're collecting and what you're looking for. I think it's great. Small shows are great if you are not picky about condition and have an open mind about what you want to add to your collection. I think you have quite a variety. I would say, for the most part, finding scarce cards or rare cards can be challenging in small shows, but it depends on the dealer who shows up. And this show, you had a good variety, like I mentioned. So that the small show, you kind of, at least for me, I have to, you know, I go in just like I mentioned. I went to the show thinking, all right, well, I'll go film the show, and maybe I'll walk out with like a small item. But turns out, I guess I'll spoil the surprise. I think everybody kind of predicted this because I zoomed in on these cards in particular. But yeah, I picked this up. I ended up picking this up off of Brian Fish, his table. This maze looks amazing up on the front. There is a reason why that this got a 1. It's stained on the front, but here it is. Listen, it's typical. It's typical. But I thought the price was really good for this card. 260 or 250 is how much I paid for it. So, yeah, pretty awesome. I stepped outside my player peripheral. I've been using that constantly. Player peripheral, because you guys know I only collect between like the 4 baseball players: Mays, Mathewson, Seaver, and Ryan. But there was something about this card that just captivated my attention, and it's a really special looking card. I don't know how to really word it, honestly, but I picked it up and I'm happy I did. A Louis Tiant, and it's a great shot of him in the foreground. In the background, you have the stadium lights, the bleachers and the seats, and just a lot of the blue skies and the clouds and the mountain range behind him. Wouldn't that capture your attention too? Yeah. And fun fact about Louis Tiant, and this kind of ties a little bit into Alex from Bowman53, because he lives down in Georgia. Louis Tiant was the head coach of the Savannah College of Art and Design's baseball team. Did you guys know they even had a baseball team? It's funny because when I was getting into college, Louis Tiant was still the head coach, and so at the time I was wanting to major in like filmmaking, and Savannah College of Art and Design was a great school for that. So I was thinking, well, I'll apply, and maybe I can be a walk-on to the baseball team and be a pitcher for Louis Tiant. That would have been so cool. But alas, never came to fruition. Didn't move to Georgia. Didn't go to Savannah College of Art and Design. But Louis Tiant. Here's the back. Back is clean. Pretty cool. I actually, this all came from the Hudson Valley Renegade show. Again, I was not expecting to pick that up. This was the first one I picked up. Yeah, the Tiant was the first one I picked up off the Fish family, Brian's table. And then I did see the maze. And I was, debating whether or not to get it, because I didn't, my budget is slimming down considerably since I've made a lot of pickups just in this month alone. And I want to save towards the Philly show, towards Strongsville that's coming up, and so forth. Which I'll definitely be able to get around to doing that. I still have cards that I want to sell, so yeah. But I ended up talking to Mookie on the phone as I was literally in the car about to leave, and I was speaking to Mookie on the phone, and I said, "Hey, man, Brian Fish is here," because that's Mookie's favorite dealer, and so I said, "Hey, man, Brian Fish is here. He's at the show," and he's like, "No way!" And so I said, "Hey, would you mind being an extra set of eyes? I'll put you on FaceTime if you don't mind taking a look at this card with me." Brian Fish said he would match the comps for it, which is great. And so I went back and got Mookie on FaceTime, got the card presented for him to see it. And I knew his response. It was just like, "Yeah, absolutely. It looks great. Get it." So ultimately, between these two cards, I bought both. I got these both for a total of $400. Now let's put this into context. Let's do a little legwork here. All right, hang on a sec. Let's go to SGC's pop report, and let's look this up. Okay, a lot of tops, but we're going to get to Venezuelan. Here we go. All right, so Louis Tiant. Now, I don't think either this card was just graded, the Tiant, or SGC is a little backlogged because, as you can see, the pop report shows 1, and the let's see, the highest grade they have there is a 5, but they haven't recorded the 4 yet. So I wonder if this is a fairly recent graded card that Brian sent in or what have you. Now the maze is number 213. We're going to go down and check that out. And there have been, according to SGC's pop report, 22 total. So 22, let's see what the highest one possible is. So the highest grade is a 1. Then you have a 1, 4, 1, 3.5, 1, 3, 2 2s, and 6 1.5s, and 8 1s. So, and then you have 2 authentic A's or authenticated grades. So not bad. If this number is true, that's pretty awesome. 22 graded total for the Willie Mays. Since we're here, let's see if I can find the Christy Mathewson, because that's the other one that I have. Might as well pop that one out at this point. Let's see if I can get this out gracefully. There we go. So Christy Mathewson Retorado. Did not need to do that. So the Christy Mathewson total has 3, which I don't know if this is accurate, but there's 1, 4. Yeah, this is definitely not completely. Oh, you know what? They have it labeled differently. That's why. Let's check that out. Let's do a new search. I just realized when you look at the card, 67. Venezuelan. Let's see. Retorado. There we go. So this is 13 Mathewsons altogether. And there are 3 2s with 3 graded higher. So that's pretty cool. 13 graded total there. Curious, out of the entire set, which one has the most? Who has graded the most with SGC? Campanello's got 20. You have to think. We got Koufax 21. That kind of makes sense. 22 Babe Ruth, 22 DiMaggio. So yeah, really like the 19 for Garrick. Curious on the Koufax what the highest grade is on that one. 5. So, and I think Brian Fish, he had one that was in a 1, if I'm not mistaken. So there are 8 ones, which again, you start, you can see the pattern here. A lot of them were 1s because a lot of them were put into photo albums, and you rip the card out and you got paper, you got the adhesive getting stuck on the album, and it gets caught on the card. So definitely a lot of 1s and 2s, and then really sparse not cards any higher than that. So do one more search. Another Venezuelan. I have the 1968 Tops. It's just easier for me to do it this way. Go to the bottom. I have that Seaver as well. Do I have it out? No, I don't. Oh no, I do. It's right here. So number 45. 16 Seavers altogether. Mine is a 5.5. So there's 1 7.5 and 3 5.5s. So that's pretty cool. The Venezuelan Seaver. There we go, stop screen. This one I bought from Brian Fish at the Garfield show, which I'll be going to next weekend. And I think if history serves me right, Rick, why am I not Rick Vintage Oddball Cards? Why am I forgetting his name? Rick, who got the Ty Cobb. He's going to be, he got the Ty Cobb, I think, at Strongsville. He's going to be coming to Garfield next week. So that's going to be exciting. And Mookie and I will be there. So, big time Venezuelan weekend in terms of cards. So that was pretty cool. Let's see what we got. Been looking for the mantle, but too expensive. Is that the Venezuelan mantle that you're looking for? And which year are you looking for, Orlando? Rocket Rick. Thank you, Steven. Yes, absolutely. Rocket Rick. This is where soaking comes in handy. Yeah, so that's a hot topic as well. What do you guys think about soaking cards? Is it okay to do it? I know people that do it, but what do you guys think? Is soaking a fair practice? Is it just as bad as using Kurt's card care? You're looking for the 67. Yeah, 67 mantle. There's something, 67s are just really something unique about them. I like how their borders, the borders on them are just, they're so thin. The margin of error for getting a centered, really good looking centered maze is, or any card really. Mathewson kind of has that same sort of deal. The camera doesn't want to focus all of a sudden. He's doing a great job before. All right, so Orlando says that soaking in distilled water is okay. I haven't tried it myself. The furthest I've really gone on making any sort of adjustments is, not adjustments, that's the wrong word, but I've used, I've cleaned like wax off a card. Or I guess you could say lifted or whatever. I was able to take wax off a card. That's the most really that I've done. But other than that, not much. Only way to get them out of album. Yeah, so it's it's the adhesive to remove the glued cards and scrapbook seams to save the backs. Yeah, seems to be the way to go. So I went to the Mount Kisco show today, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I knew since I spent a lot at the Hudson Valley show that I didn't want to spend a whole lot at this one, but you never know. It's like you find something you find something that you would least expect. But in this case, I kind of got roped into some bargain bin box deals that I thought were really good and too good to pass up. So I'll show you some of those, and then I'll talk a little bit about that show. A lot of basketball actually. So it was the 1973 or 74. These are all dollar cards that I got. Nice looking Wes Unseld. That's a really good looking card of him too. Really nicely centered on this for $1. A Hall of Famer like that. Here's a beat up 73 Aaron for $1. Yeah. Can't go wrong with $1 on a Hall of Famer like that. Oscar Robertson for $1. I have to pull it back here because apparently the focus is really not registering. Let's see. What do I have to do to get my camera to observe this? Oh, now it's too bright. There we go. That's much better. Big O for $1. Here's a Havlicek. Nicely centered Havlicek that I got for $1. I think that was is that Elvin Hayes? Or is that, I'm not 100% sure. I know everybody here loves basketball cards. Classic of Pete Maravich with the goatee for $1. Great looking Walt Clyde Frazier for $1 with the Knicks. Bunch of Larry Birds. All these for $1. Here's the All-Star Fleer All-Star Team 88 Larry Bird. Got a Greg Nettles rookie card for $1, although this one looks like it's either trimmed or something. Or poorly cut. Got a Michael Jordan card for $1. I saw this and I thought, well, Jason, Everyday Card Collector, probably has this, but Billy Pierce All-Star Baseball Thrills from the 59 set. Got that for $1. And then for $5, Paul Molitor, Alan Trammell card. So I thought $18, well spent. So, I wasn't trying to get back into. So let me just set this straight. I'm not getting back into setting up at shows, but I'll still sell stuff online here and there. And I figured that's a nice way to make some quick turnaround. Got a majority of those for $1. I could sell them at a minimum for like $3 and make a little bit on it. So that'd be cool. So okay. I was only gonna ask a few people about this, but I figured, what the hell? I'm here, and you guys are here. I'm on the fence about this because I have 2 of these cards graded. One is in a SGC2, but it's very well centered. It's right here actually. It's the Bill Russell 61 Fleer, and I really I like this one a lot more because it's just so beautifully centered. It's just a really beautiful, like well-centered card, and it's hard to tell why it's a 2, but that's kind of a good thing, because if you really just kind of take, there we go. If you take the 2 away and don't even focus on it, you're just really looking at a beautiful looking centered card, and almost the grade doesn't even matter at that point. So this is the one I'm keeping for myself because I just think it's a something beautifully special about it. So here's what I'm getting at. What do you guys think I'm so apprehensive about doing this. And I remember Adam from Splendid Sports Cards did a video talking a little bit about qualifiers with PSA cards. I have another one here. Bill Russell, near mint 7, but qualifier with it being off center. So does it make sense to crack it and submit it to SGC and see what happens? Or do you do a crossover with it still in the slab? I know a lot of guys that are PSA loyalists are probably would be freaking out about this, but just getting your take on this. Would you crack it, submit it to SGC, see what it grades? Would you send it as is? Or would you leave it? Now, I'm asking from a perspective of someone that's looking to move it. And I've had a lot of trouble moving this card because of that qualifier. The qualifier really hurts this. It sticks out like a sore thumb. And it's become a challenge to move it. So what do you guys think? I'm not in any rush to make any rash decisions here. But let me see. I'm getting some responses. So Dylan says, if you're selling a PSA with OC designation, that crack it. Though you mean like then crack it? I would leave it alone for my PC. Crack, send to SGC. So going back to scrapbook boxing. Yes, so I completely understand that perspective. And the one that I have in SGC is a 2, I'm really happy with. And I'm at the point now where I don't need both of them. I like the way this one presents better than this one. That's kind of where I'm getting at. And so if I send this over to SGC and let's say it gets 6, I'll be really happy about that because, opportunity there to kind of get back what I got for it. Diamond Gem says that, Diamond Gem, a lot of people coming in the chat. It's a 7, Sammy, that's a W. It is, and if I were going to keep it, absolutely, but I'm thinking of moving it. That's why I'm asking. Used to buy loads of PSA OC top to bottom cards, and they all go way, way, way cheap. Well, I bought it at a time when basketball cards were really at, I probably foolishly bought it at a time when they were very popular. So Jake says, tough call. Since you've had trouble selling it so far, I think cracking and sending SGC is a good call. That's sort of the conversation I had with Matt from Providence about the one I was trading. I was trying to trade to him. I like the SGC one better. Me too. That 2 smashes that 7. In terms of centering and presentation, yeah, I agree. Think purely for resale and think you can get a 5 crack and send SGC. I think I could get a 5 on this. Let's go a little closer on it. If I can get this to focus a little better. Let me go out, maybe. Okay, and we'll go in carefully. So you guys can probably see the corners, I think, pretty well at this point. The glare is not doing much to help, but I'd say the corners are pretty sharp. The edges are pretty sharp. Back looks really great. Yeah, so let's see. Just seeing what everyone else is saying. Low grade says, do you think that you would have trouble moving it due to the SGC holder? What do you say? Let me reread that again. Do you think that you would have trouble moving it due to the? Are you well, this one I'm keeping. This one I'm going to keep. This one, yeah, this one I'm looking to move. I'm having trouble moving it because of the qualifier. And I think because SGC doesn't do qualifiers, it would make it easier. This is like one of those scenarios where it's unbelievable that I have to say this, but this is where the grade, where the grade matters. And, I really dislike that mentality, but this is where it matters. And it's just, it's convoluted thinking. Send it to SGC, hope for the best, then sell it. Yeah, I'd be hoping for a 5 or a 6 on it. SGC is hard in centering. I'll crack the sell. It would look nicer in a tux. Yeah, I think so. If it were me, I would do a buy it now on eBay at a PSA 6 price. It will sell. Okay, that's something to think about. I generally don't do a lot of selling on eBay, but it's worth trying. Dom is here. What else is there about a card that we should love besides the presentation and how it looks? Yeah, that's really kind of that's what it really comes down to. PSA 5s are 900. It comes back in SGC 6, easier to move. Plus, it's 980, worth the crack in my opinion. Easier to move. Yeah. Yes, but if you re-slabbed with SGC, you may be fixing one problem and introducing another. What do you mean by that? I hate qualifiers. Would rather have a lower grade, but would even rather have no number. Yeah, at the time I was still learning more into the hobby. I was very excited at the prospect of buying this in a high grade, and probably should have. I didn't have as much knowledge as I do now about these qualifiers. So, and I realize now that they stick out like a sore thumb. To sell it, I'd crack it SGC. That seems to be the case. You might be a Samsung of 4. I think it's. I'm not sure. I think it's a 5 either way. You can't go wrong if you crack it. Love the history of baseball. That's the best part about it. The president has spoken. Crack and sell it raw. Oh man. Very true. Very true. So I have another thing to mention to you guys or ask you about. What's your stance on? And I don't. What is your stance on taking an eraser and removing pencil marks? Taboo? Yes or no? I think there's definitely mixed opinions on it. I've never tried to erase anything, but this is that Tom Seaver postcard that I bought. Has some stains on it. Yeah. Beautiful shot of him from the 67 B&E. I think it's B&E photo. But what is your take? Has anybody done it where they've taken an eraser and gently erased pencil marks? I'd imagine that a lot of people think it's taboo. So, curious what you guys think on that. Let's see. Joe Wood. So, Orlando says never erase. Yes. And I've never done it on any card. But I was curious, just because we're in a live stream, I figured I'd ask what you guys think. Either way, it would make it fair grade, right? So which you like better, I say. So Andrew says he doesn't. Joe says no matter what you decide to do, it is the same card. Dom is adamant that will damage the card surface further, and it's a postcard writing on the back isn't a deal breaker. Yeah, I agree. So, I haven't shown these cards yet, but yeah, that's this is the most recent pickup from the Shriner show. This will be shown tomorrow as well in the start of the week. Actually, you know what? Yes, I think the start of the week shows this card because I pre-recorded the video that's going to be released tomorrow. Some of y'all's showcases. So it was really cool to find a second one of these. I plan on sending this to SGC. I'm trying to think. I'm probably going to do it at the Philly show in December. So I'm just kind of trying to create a stack of stuff I want to bring with me to submit. Let's see. I have a rare Walter Johnson where somebody had a race. PSA gave it a qualifiers MK, but man, it looks better. I wouldn't personally have the guts to erase. Understandable. Appreciate the honesty, Mr. President. We need more of that. You guys may have seen this already. Got the play ball. Christy Mathewson. Great shot of him here. For a while, when he got right around the time Mathewson started getting sick, he was moved to what is it, Saranac Lake, New York, and given his status, he was given round the clock care from the best doctors, best facility. Actually, instead of staying in the facility that they would normally treat people in, he was given his own apartment or his own little, I think like a house or a residence somewhere in Saranac Lake, and an on-call. His doctor was on call for him. So, Mathewson was given great treatment. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he suffered greatly during the initial course of of his ailment, but he was able to recover. And against his doctor's wishes, Mathewson decided to get back into baseball. Obviously not as a player, but as I want to say, I don't know if he was the owner or if he was like kind of a president figure, so to speak. I think he was investing with 2 or 3 other guys. I can't remember the names of them, but in the Boston Braves, I think he invested in them and would be kind of the silent partner, so to speak. So he was in Saranac Lake during the week, and he would constantly make trips back and forth. And prior to getting into this, his doctor said, "Listen, if you do decide to get back into baseball, you're looking at a maximum of 2 years life. You'll live 2 more years." I mean, at that point, after a year spent recovering initially from his onset of his ailment, I mean, Mathewson went from 0 to 100, and his health was really just incredible. It was a miracle. And one has to wonder if he didn't get back into baseball and decided to just live a relaxing life, because he didn't need to go back to baseball. The guy had tons of money at this point. He didn't have to do this. He was a businessman. I mean, he was one of the top guys in baseball at that time. So made a lot of great business deals and didn't have to go back into baseball. So one would have to wonder, after all of that, if he didn't go back to baseball, it's that big what if question. Would he have lived longer? Hard to say, because it wasn't long after when he did get back into baseball again, that the stress got to him, just having to be in management and having to run a ball club while still sort of in recovery. But I mean, he's maybe 100% was wrong, maybe like 90%. But anyway, obviously Mathewson did pass away. He slipped back into his illness and unfortunately just became way too weak and couldn't run the ball club anymore, and eventually passed away. But a lot of what ifs there. I finished reading his book recently, and I came across that chapter, and also didn't know that during World War I, he was also joined by other baseball players in big figureheads that or became figureheads like Branch Rickey, Ty Cobb. They were in the same group with Mathewson during World War I, which I found kind of interesting. Probably the only time, I don't know if Mathewson and Ty Cobb ever had any sort of exhibition games. Didn't mention in the book. I know that it's mentioned that Ty Cobb wished that he could have played against Mathewson. They were so close, but the Giants lost. So close to playing against the Tigers. Anyway, going off the deep end here. So, not much else really to mention tonight. I just wanted to jump on and hang out with you guys, and I'm glad you guys jumped on as well. So, hope you guys have a great start to your week. I'll have a start of the week video tomorrow. I'll be coming back again on Wednesday with some more card show talk. Thursday is going to be a Cardboard and Cold Ones live stream. And then next Sunday is going to be a Garfield show that I'll be attending with Rick and Mookie. So lots to look forward to, and a lot of great things happening in the hobby right now. So thank you guys so much for, Adam, thank you very much for reminding me. Thank you to all the veterans here. Thank you all for your service, and have a relaxing Veterans Day, and see you soon. Take care, everybody. Good night.